dive in. We are 1 year post-COVID shutdown. Can't believe it's been that long. My gosh, it's flown by certain days, and other days it's just been dragging on. So we're all coming apart at the seams. We've lost competition for a year with athletic events. Our youth athletes haven't been able to play, or at least in any sense of normalcy. Us adults haven't been able to run a 5K, do a mountain bike race, do any large gatherings or competition, and I don't know about you, but it's driving me crazy. So a couple weeks ago, I stumbled across a mountain bike race. It's put on by a company called EX2 Adventures. I haven't been mountain biking much over the last year, really since last year, and I've only been doing it for about 3 years in general. Well, talked a bunch of people that I train into getting a mountain bike over the last 2 to 3 years, and they're all competitors, they love being outside, so they dove right in and kind of followed me on this. So we're all relative newbies, but it's a competition, and we're dying to do anything to just push the limits, commit to something, hold us accountable to move forward with our training, and to get ready to rock. And this thing is on May 2nd, so we've got about 6-week window to take general fitness training and tune it up for mountain bike specific racing. So this event is one that is not the most technical thing out there. It's on single track and double track, so we've got a little leeway. We've got 500 feet of vertical per lap, and it's 2 7-mile laps, about 1,000 feet total. So really looking to get after this, looking to tune up for it, and we're gonna show some documentation of what we're doing for training, what we're doing for nutrition coaching, what we're gonna do both outdoors on the bike and indoors in the gym, and I'm gonna take you guys through it. So follow along, hope this interests you. You're gonna see a bunch of newbies working through some obstacles and figuring out a way to get it done. Now this crew that is doing this thing with me, they've all been clients of mine for the last couple of years at least, some almost a decade. And this is a crew that, we've all sweat together, we've bled together, we've competed together. And these are people that we've built, really tight bonds with. And, I admire and they help me just as much as I help them. So this is a great thing to do together. Anytime that I can step up to a starting line with this group of people, I love it. So you're gonna see how this crew pushes each other, pushes me to get out of bed early in the morning and get after it just because they are, and how we all can kind of overcome a little bit of adversity here and get after the first competitive event in 2021. All right, guys, before we can dive into any kind of intensity with training or any consistency, we need to make sure that our body's working the right way. And we need the preventative maintenance, just like you give it to your car. So as we do more mileage on the bike, more mileage on our feet running, more volume in the weight room, we need to make sure that the wheels aren't coming off the bus, for lack of a better way to say that. So I'm gonna dive into a PT session I do routinely along with a number of the people that I'm working with. And we're not doing that to treat an acute injury, we're doing that to keep ourselves on the line and able to move forward and get the most out of our body every week. Now I've got some chronic stuff going on along with a couple other people on the team, but we're working through and around those things and modifying training and modifying setting. So you're gonna get to see a quick glimpse at just what I do for PT. I work with a number of different people in this building and they keep me on the right track. So we're gonna get the body right before we dive into some training outdoors this weekend and inside in Peak in some training classes. All right, here she is. This is what I'm riding to train and riding on race day. So this is a bike I got about 3.5 years ago. A work neighbor of mine, Mike over at Trailworks Cyclery, sold me on this guy. So this is about 2 or 3 steps up from an entry-level Specialized. It's the Specialized Fuse. It's an aluminum frame, kind of a budget bike, but still has some features on it that get you to the next level. So when I first got into mountain biking, I had no idea how much I was going to be able to do or where I was going to go. I wanted something that I could, ride local trails and terrain on, and that would last me for a few years as I, hopefully got a little steeper on the learning curve. So this is what I went with. A couple things on here that I wanted when I got into mountain biking. I wanted a hardtail, so we get a little more power to the ground. And obviously when you go to full suspension, you almost double your price, and I wasn't ready for that yet. I have a single ring in the front, which is the trend where all bikes went in mountain biking over the last few years. So it minimizes the need to shift on both front and back at the same time, so it just keeps things a little more simple. I've got flat pedals, I've got some wide aggressive tires on this. It's a 27.5. And again, aluminum frame, so the bike is not the lightest carbon fiber bike out there, but I've got to do a lot more skill development until I earn something like that. So what else do we have? We got a seat dropper post, that's a big one. So you can adjust your seat height on the fly, all right? And that's the key for just being able to tackle some downhill, more technical terrain, and then being able to get power right back to your pedals with the appropriate, body position when you go downhill, or when you go flat or you're climbing uphill. So the ability to switch that on the fly was a big one. So other than that, we've got disc brakes. That's a big jump up from like a really basic entry level. But besides that, we kept it pretty budget. We've got a couple people on the team that have literally the same exact bike, and then another one or two that have another brand, a competitor, but same type of bike, same features and everything. So we're all operating about the same thing. Somebody went in pretty deep last year, and you'll see White Lightning come out in a couple weeks. They went in a full suspension, specialized stump jumper in a really good looking white carbon frame. So pretty sweet bike, but the rest of us are on the budget. We've got to earn the next jump up in a couple years. So this is what we'll be racing on race day. Training on right now. It's been a great bike so far. Only had a couple little hiccups with it. What was it, probably 2 months ago, I'm out at the local trail at Bacon Ridge, and I'm probably 3-4 miles in, and I unthreaded basically and totally stripped where my pedal goes into my crank arm and lost a pedal mid-ride. Wore out the whole crank arm, and I had to one-leg it out of there from about 3 miles out. So that made for a training day that I wasn't expecting. But I got new crank arms from Specialized. We're back in it, we're good to go, and ready to rock for this race. So check us out in training. We'll have some footage of that coming up, and then hopefully this thing will get me through on race day. All right, let's roll. Thursday morning, bright and early. Teaching cardio and core class this morning. So we're gonna get some good interval training indoors at Peak. You can attend class virtually, which most of our mountain biking crew will be doing. So just getting set up a little early today. I'm gonna get some extra volume in. We're just gonna add that volume at a pretty easy intensity. Don't wanna ding myself up for some harder interval training that we're gonna do in class. And then we're gonna get some big volume this weekend outdoors too. Hopefully the weather's nice. Hopefully the trails work out well. And we'll lock some volume on the mountain bike where it really counts. But today's the fitness piece, which has been helping us out in the off season. Just get ready for this event coming up. So follow along, check out class, and let's get after it. All right, it may get ugly. Now's your chance to have internet, unstable connection. I think I'm gonna get a fixed gear Huffy straight out of Walmart, set up on a bike trainer in here for next week's class. Show you guys you don't need all this high-tech stuff. I'll be at 135 RPMs.
You know that area that's really slick on downhill, always like kind of muddy?
Yeah.
I hit the one wet spot in the entire Bacon Ridge system. Catapult over the handlebars.
Oh no.
And land in the only other second wet spot in the entire, and it was like I landed in a pillow. Ryan, my bicep needed 18 needles in it to free up, and I'm not joking. Like, I literally have a newfound hatred for getting the bicep needled.
Turn it
just
down.
To unlock the bicep after this motion. I started using my toes to type on the computer by the end of the day. The best was hearing Ryan talk about how Pam looked after round 2, off to the side with her hair laying outside of her bun.
Pam, that was the first time in 3 years in the class you look completely disheveled. Ever.
I'm wearing shorts no matter what the temperature is today, just to show these bad boys off.
All right, Sunday morning we made it. Headed out to go mountain biking. About the 3rd time out in 3 weeks. So just breaking the bike in this spring season. Meeting one of our race team members, John Downs. This is his first time getting out on his mountain bike this year. Both of us are pretty new at this. John's done some triathlon work, ton of experience on a road bike, but just about a year into mountain biking. So today we're working on just an endurance ride, getting some reps in, and working on technical skill a little bit more than like hard race effort training. We both had a pretty hard training week. I had a lot of interval training in, so today is not about, redlining. Today is about just cruising, working on being a little more efficient on the bike, getting some endurance work out there and just time in the saddle. So we're headed to Bacon Ridge, and that is a local trail system in Crownsville, and it's pretty new. Local bike shop owner that we know really well, and we actually both got our bikes from, has really pushed hard with our county to get this trail system built, and done a lot of literally hands-on work himself and with his employees and circle of friends, and we greatly appreciate it because we're out there at least 2 days a month, sometimes 3, 4, depending on what time of year it is. So headed out there this morning, going to get some reps in. Always nice to get out on a weekend morning. Usually Sunday mornings are dedicated to the longer efforts. Hardest part of all this stuff, training when you're working full-time, and full-time, myself and most people that are training for this race are more than what you consider full-time. We're either business owners, or have pretty demanding jobs where we're putting in between 50 and 70 hours a week. So to find the training time is the toughest part. Once you get out there and either lace the shoes up or get on your bike, that's the fun part. That's where you can let go of the stress, get after it, have some fun, put a smile on your face, even if you're suffering a little bit from the physical aspect. So looking forward to getting out there. Sunday morning, my routine is my wife, Kristen, aka Mrs. Peak, she gets the priority first. She's got a slammed week, and this is her first day to really get after it herself and do what she wants. So she does a long endurance run first thing. So this morning she was up and out early, 6:30. It's about 35 degrees out. She cranked out 12 miles with a friend. She gets home, and then I get my chance. So I'm headed out. We're going to crank this out. We're going to get about a 90-minute ride in, see how it goes, check the box, and move forward. We're about 5.5 to 6 weeks out from race day. So just looking to build again upon our efforts, build some volume here, get more time in the saddle, and try to get the fitness that we've been working on throughout the winter applied more to mountain hiking. So more to come. We'll see how it goes today. Catch up with you guys soon.
Look, let's put it this way. If we were able to maximize our fitness and not be held back by technical skill, I think we'd fare pretty well.
Yeah.
So there's more room to grow in the next 6 weeks with reps on the bike, technical skill, confidence, and then just time in the saddle, like getting your general fitness specific to mountain biking, than there is like having a huge bump in your lactate threshold or anything, obviously.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, I think if we'll just completely, we don't need a tremendous amount of skill on the uphill. To get out of the saddle. Just kicking it?
Yeah, so if I'm in the middle of a hill and I'm not in, let's say, a low enough gear to last without fatiguing out, I just stand up and go, because you don't want to shift and put a lot of strain mid-hill, mid-pedal stroke. So I just stand up to finish it. And you're going anaerobic, but if it's short, go for it.
Got it.
If it's a long climb and you can see it, just keep gear down.
right guys, so we are 5 weeks out from the race and weather is less than ideal this morning. So since the trails are soaked and not rideable, I'm gonna log some time down in the Pain Cave on my gravel bike, on a bike trainer. So I got a gravel bike about 6-7 months ago. I sold my road bike that I had for a few years and I never really ride on the road. One, I'm not really interested in doing it. I find it kind of boring. And number two, any bike accidents, aches and pains, I want them to be self-inflicted, not from a car. And the area that I live in isn't really that accommodating to road bike riding. So I picked up this gravel bike so I can enjoy some outdoor competition and training, you know, on some dirt paths and gravel roads. And then I can mountain bike, you know, in the trails like we're gonna do in a few weeks. So I swapped out the back tire. I've got a road bike tire on it, and I've got it hooked up to a bike trainer. And then anytime I use it outside, I'll just put that gravel tire back on, and then I can get on the terrain that I'm looking to have fun in. So today we're gonna dive into a workout where I can emulate what we're gonna be doing in our mountain bike race, where I'm gonna work on some endurance today and just get a long ride, but we're gonna push some zone 5 effort intervals.
All right, so we're coming up to the end of the warm-up. Got some extended zone 2 time and we're ready to smash the throttle here and get some zone 5 efforts. So we're gonna go 45 seconds on. We're gonna hit 450 watts and then backing off the just easy spin for 45. And then we're back to zone 2 efforts in the middle. Now talking about watts, here's where things get interesting. I'm weighing in at about 195 pounds right now. Almost Clydesdale status for mountain bike riding. So pushing 300 watts as my FTP isn't doing me much good. There's a guy next to me pushing 275 watts that weighs $160. He's gonna walk me. So it's a fine line of how much weight you want to try to lose versus how much performance do you want to try to squeeze out of you. So in a perfect world, I'd be sub 190 by race day, but I don't want to lose power output at the same time. So we'll see what we can do over the next 5 weeks, but I'm not going to starve myself trying to get there because I need to make sure I can still put some watts out. All right, going to saddle up here first one. Let's go. All right, we're at 6 out of 8 on our reps. Hanging strong with watts. Sweating buckets here. Good news is heart rate's coming down in between. So I'm hitting the 170s at the end of the interval. And at 210 watts, I'm back down to like 139 in between for recovery. So happy with that. All right, 7. Let's dive in. All right, 8 and done. Made it. Cruise easy. Back to zone 2 for a little steady state. And we're done. Check the box.